And that's how the theme song goes. Hey, welcome back to the Constitutionals podcast. I'm your host, Chad White. And if you didn't know, this is the premier podcast for the website, cpluscomedy.com. And like I said, it's a website. Go there. And that's the intro. Okay. Anyway, let's get right into it, because I'm not gonna lie to you. I went to a concert last night, and I believe I now have tinnitus. I have been hearing a ringing in my ears. It is not funny. It is very sad. And honestly, I can't hear a thing right now. I'm wearing headphones when I record this. They're plugged directly into the microphone. And it's just such a loud ringing. And I was reading on how to heal it. You're not supposed to have, basically you're not supposed to have headphones on or anything that could make things loud again. And I'm doing the opposite of that. I did it today at the gym. I noticed it at the gym I really noticed it when I woke up. First of all right, so here's the thing. I went to see his concert. Dave East he's a nice young rapper, a lot of tattoos, very good man. And he just put out another mixtape. Go listen to it. He's good. He's a very, very good guy. But I went, and then I came back home. It's like midnight. I'm trying to go to bed. My ears are still ringing, which is very bad. On the 20-minute drive home, my ears were still ringing. So I said, that's fine. The other concerts I went to, still bad. And then I go to bed. I wake up, and my ears are the same as they were the night before. This is not funny, and I cannot hear a thing. I go to the gym. I put my Beats headphone, my Beats threes. What are those? The Power Beats threes and twos. I have twos. I'm not rich. I have twos. I put them in. They're hanging off my ear. Still, I had to turn the music up because it's ringing so loud. I get home. I look up how to heal this tinnitus, and I do this sort of stuff. It doesn't work. It just does not work at all. And now it's going to be 24 hours in about 15 minutes at the time of this recording. So yeah, there we go. Anyway, yeah, like I said, I went to the concert and it was great. This is my third concert in as many months. First it was Mr. Wives, and then after that it was Father John Misty. Now it is that was Dave East, and hopefully next week I got another one I'm going to. Supposed to go to another one tomorrow, the day that this episode posts, which is Brockhampton at the Buckhead Theater. And one, tickets are expensive. Two, there's like 70 guys in that rap group, and I don't even know one of their songs. And three, I don't want to go because I'm very broke, and I want to pay for this other concert I'm going to at Phillips next Monday for Lana Del Rey. Anyway, so I went to this concert. If you don't follow me on Snapchat, because there's only 7 of you, and I doubt the 7 of you that listen to this even want to follow me on any of my social accounts, including the Seedless Comedy accounts. And so anyway, on my Snapchat, I chronicled my night. It was alone. I went alone. I go to these things alone because it's easier. It's not cheaper. It's cheaper if I buy more than one ticket, but it's easier to go alone. I don't have to wrangle people. I can leave whenever I want. I can leave the city whenever I want. I can go down whenever I want. I can do whatever I want because I'm alone. I don't have to worry about people. I get there though. I drive down. I get there. Doors open at 7. Show's supposed to start at 8 o'clock. I get there at 8 o'clock on the dot because I'm very good at that. But they hadn't even let people in. They've been letting people in, but they hadn't been letting people in. It was at this place in Atlanta off of Peachtree Street called the Loft Vinyl Theater, and I've been there before. I've been there several times before. Usually for these concerts, they let people in. But first it was supposed to be at the Loft, and then people bought so many tickets that they moved it upstairs to Center Stage, which is the bigger venue, which is great, which is wonderful. I love it. I'm glad that there were so many Dave East fans. He deserves it all. But the problem with that is this is a rap concert, a hip hop concert. This is a rap concert. He's a rapper, and they checked every single person for weapons. They checked every single person for really everything you could possibly understand and imagine. So I get there. I try to find parking off of Peachtree. I find this great spot, which is on Peachtree Street, and I'm literally a block away. So I walk there, and I see, and there's this line of people. The line started, I kid you not, their doors for Center Stage are right there on the street, but they line people up a block away. I'm not lying because I was a block away. So I came down and I said, "Oh, I guess I gotta walk away, walk down the street." And then so they had these people lined up, and then I guess what they did was they brought the line to the front door, and then they started checking people there. Anyway, I get in. which is a really haphazard way of doing this. I get inside and I immediately make a beeline for the restroom because I have been holding it. I urinate. That's not an important part of the story. I'm cutting a lot of stuff because I thought it was going to be funny. When you're alone in line and when you're not doing these things and you don't want to look at your phone, which I do, it's a meditative practice, and I don't want to sound like a Pete Holmes composite. If you listen to You Made It Weird, the podcast, and you'll understand what I'm saying. But it's a meditative practice. I don't want to look at my phone when I'm in public. So what I was doing was I was listening to people around me. I was trying to find good stories for the podcast. There's not a lot of good stories in the line, except for a guy that was smoking the longest cigarette in the world, and this girl behind us commented on it. And we all had a good laugh about that, but that's about it. Anyway, because it wouldn't end. He kept blowing smoke. And by that, I mean he was lying right out of his mouth. No, he was really smoking cigarettes. Dad jokes are funny. Anyway, I get inside the venue. I want to go to the pit because that's where I was for Mr. Wives. This is the same place that the Mr. Wives concert was at. I want to go to the pit. And then, again, I'm out of my element. All right. I'm the only guy. I'm the only person there in chino pants, a button-up shirt. And I look like somebody's old Jewish uncle that walked in who just didn't fit with anything. So I show up, I go and I go, okay, I got to get to the pit because that's where I want to be. I want to be as close to the action as possible. Usually I hate being around people. And if you know me, if you see me at the gym, yeah, I hate being around people. But when I'm at these concerts, they're like religious experiences. They're these things that I just want to just be with a bunch of people, be around people, and just enjoy the music and sing the songs. And and I want to be in the pit while I'm doing all that. But I couldn't find an entrance to the pit. And then I thought, is that the VIP area? Because I got there way too early. By the time I got inside, it was like 8:15, almost 8:30, and they were. And I'll get to that in a second. And so I thought, you know what? I don't want to go to the pit. I don't want somebody to tell me to turn around because I look like someone's old Jewish grandpa, and I don't want them to call me out. So I followed these people who are on a double date upstairs to the back row. And I sat almost right next to them. I moved the seat over because I didn't want anybody to think that I was following them. And so I sat there and we were watching. Everybody was watching. Somebody asked me, "Is this your assigned seat?" And I said, "No. I don't think they're assigned seats." He goes, "Okay, good." But I misheard him the first time. He said, "Are these assigned seats?" And I said, "No, I want to move up." He said, "Oh, okay, cool. No, but are these assigned seats?" I go, "Oh, yeah. No, I don't think there's any assigned seats." And that was the extent of our conversation. But anyway, there's this guy. So here's what they have. The issue is, we spent 2 hours, almost 2.5. Yeah, I think it was almost exactly 2.5 hours. There was a DJ. They didn't have an opener. There was a DJ off to the side, not even on stage. There was a DJ I was closer to him in the back row. Then there's a man on the stage who was a hype man who literally had a microphone in his hand and he was hyping up the songs that were playing. So they would play Mask Off by Future, which played twice for some ungodly reason. They played Mask Off by Future or Annie Up by Mobb Deep, or just all of these just great hip-hop songs that would be awesome if I was at a house party, if I was alone listening to Google Play Music, which I subscribe to, if I was in a car with a friend. All of those would be better places than to listen to this DJ just throw music up on the stage so this guy can, when I say he wasn't dancing, we were watching this man stand with a microphone, do one of three things. Either jitter his body, not gyrate, not move in a nice fashion. He was literally jittering his body in the strangest way possible. Two, he was checking his phone, and he wasn't taking pictures or anything. He was literally scrolling through his phone while he was holding a microphone while songs would play. Or 3, put on chapstick. I swear to God, I saw him put on chapstick minimum 3 times. And he also dropped it on the ground more than once. And I saw him put it on the table and then pick it back up and then use it again. songs later. And so that happened. That was just a whole thing. Oh my God. But so that went on for 2.5 hours. And then finally DJ Holiday, who I know because he produces a lot of music in the hip hop community. I've heard his sound before, so I know who he is. I've heard his voice, and I've heard his name be said before. But we got so then DJ so several times at several points during this entire charade, people, they would say at 9:00 they went, okay guys, he's about to come on, everybody's getting hyped up. By 10:00 people were musiced out. Nobody wanted to hear music anymore. We were all so sick of it. DJ Holiday comes out and everybody's like, okay, maybe it's gonna happen. No, he starts playing his music. Mask off again. Nobody wants to hear Mask Off again. So people were literally just standing around, a lot of weed smoking, if you can believe it, at a rap show. And plus, security guards did nothing. It was great. It was hilarious. There was one security guard who I looked at down in the pit, who I spot from my perch. I have in the back row. I saw him flash his light at somebody who was really smoking just a lot of weed, and he just shook his head no, and then the person stopped, but then they went back and did it again. No one can. Who cares? It's a rap show. Just let it happen. So then finally Dave East came out, and it was a great show. He rapped for 1 hour exactly, and at 11:30, he got into, and for his last song, he got into the crowd. Never in my life had I seen bodyguards rush to somebody in such a quick manner. It was the greatest thing in the world. Once Dave East chose to get into the crowd, and the women started reaching for him and touching him and stuff, 5 bodyguards ran over, who were also smoking and drinking on stage, ran over and hopped in the crowd to block Dave East from the women, or block the women from Dave East. Oh my gosh, it was great. Young Jeezy was not Young Jeezy. Jeezy was there because he doesn't go by Young anymore. He has a song with, Davies has a song with Jeezy. It was great, and he performed music, and everybody had a good time. But I just have a lot of issues with how it's handled. Hopefully, the next one I go to, hopefully I can get a ticket to the next one. I just gotta get paid, buddy. That's why I hate working paychecks. You know, I just want to be a writer one day and not have to work paycheck to paycheck. But you gotta do what you gotta do, and I'm only a 20-something-year-old baby. Anyway, moving on. I'm gonna every week I'm gonna clear my throat right on mic just to be as professional as possible. All right, moving on. I saw a lot of movies this weekend. I actually started watching The Fundamentals of Caring. I am not finished. I also started watching Going in Style. Again, not finished, but that movie really just starts. There's a bank robbery in the beginning, and then the British dude, what's his name? Michael Caine. Yeah, Michael Caine. You got to say his name just to, in a British accent, just to get it through. Michael Caine, essentially within the first 5 minutes says, "I want to rob a bank," and then that's the conceit of the movie. I'm about 30 minutes in, and I can't wait to see what happens in the next hour. I'm pretty sure I can figure it out. Alan Alda and Morgan Freeman are in that movie. Morgan Freeman won the SAG Lifetime Achievement Award. Good for him. Apparently, it was a really good speech, and I will watch it at some point. Anyway. Z for Zachariah. I saw Z for Zachariah. That was admittedly, it was on Amazon first, and then I didn't watch it there. And then I saw it was on Hulu about a year ago. So I've been wanting to watch this movie for about 3 years. I finally watched it because it was expiring on Saturday. So I said, you know what? I'll watch it. Got home from work. I watched it, and it was really good. It stars David Oyelowo and Chris Pine and Margot Robbie in a really good role. She did such a fantastic job. But it's about the last 3 people on Earth after a virus takes hold, right? I don't know, or greenhouse gas. I don't know. There's radioactiveness. So it starts with the first half hour is Margot Robbie by herself with a dog. It's like I Am Legend with Will Smith. And so she's by herself with a dog, and she's taking care of this farmland as she's been doing for years alone by herself. It turns out her family went to go look for survivors, and then her brother left, and then they never came back. And also they live in a pocket of the valley, I think in Utah. A lot of Utah stuff happened in the TV shows this weekend that I watched, TV shows and movies. But there was they live in a pocket of the Utah region that her farmland, her house, the town that she was in, the church her dad built, just wasn't touched by the radioactiveness, except for, the water on the outside and stuff. So then David Yellowwell comes, and he gets radioactive poisoning because he was showering in a waterfall, and that had radiation. And then Margot Robbie nurses him back to health. They fall in love after some untold amount of time. Chris Pine shows up. Well, they don't fall in love. They don't mention that to the very end. I'm not ruining anything. Chris Pine shows up, and then she questions. She's in her head. You can see it on her face. She's like, "Man, he's a handsome." First of all, Chris Pine, even when he's dirty, he's a handsome man. No offense to David Oyelowo. Is that David Oyelowo? I think it is. Anyway. I'm not going to check. Yeah, it is David Oyelowo. Okay, anyway. Chris Pine is... anyway, he's a handsome boy. So anyway, she's thinking, ooh, boy, he's a handsome boy. I should fall for his down-home country self. And then they have sex. And then David Oyelowo tells her, he says, hey, you can do what you want. I just wanted to let you know I love you, which was the dirtiest move he could definitely pull. And then Chris Pine leaves, I assume. They don't show it, and that's all they say about it, and that's it. It's in the movie. It's a biblical movie. It's a movie. Z for Zachariah, obviously. It's based on a book from the early 30s or from the 20th century. I don't know when it came out, but the book, I was reading the synopsis, is way different than the movie. But the movie is better. The book it made David Oyelowo's character the term it made him a rapist, and that was not, the book did not sound good to me at all. So the movie was really good. Moving along, High Maintenance came back on Friday night, and even though I was tired from a very long day of work, from working about 7 or 8 hours, I thought, man, oh man, I can't wait to see this High Maintenance again. Season 2 is so good, and what High Maintenance does is that it takes this character of the guy. That's his name. You don't know anything else about him. The guy. He sells drugs, but he's not like your typical stoner guy. He sells drugs to these characters around New York City. He bikes there, and then eventually either he leaves and we stay with that character, or he stays and we're experiencing the character through his eyes. And it's just such a good, wonderful show that I cannot believe exists. And it's really a character. I wrote this in my first look review. It's a character study of a television show, and I just love it so much. Ben Sinclair and Katja, his wife, Ben Sinclair's wife, Katja, whose last name I do not know. She has a different last name than he does. Anyway, wonderful show. There are episodes that really stick out that I remember right now. There's one where there's this guy who is a stay-at-home dad, and he likes to dress up in women's clothing, and that's such a wonderful episode. And then there's another one where there's a guy who is an agoraphobe. He's afraid to go outside. He just orders stuff in bulk, and he was taking care of his mother. She passed away, and he's still afraid to go outside. He invites the guy over periodically to buy weed from him. He's never smoked the weed in his life, but he just invites the guy over to hang out with him. There's you learn about the guy has an ex-wife. Oh, it's just so. Oh, and there's a dog walker who's a girl from Orange is the New Black, I believe. Anyway. And so the premiere is just such a timely episode, because the premiere of second season is such a timely episode because there was an unnamed tragedy that happened, and the guy is being pulled left and right all over the city to sell drugs to his prospective clients because they're trying to deal with this tragedy in their own way by self-prescribing drugs. And just seeing him, they don't name the tragedy. They just say people can be monsters, the world can be so cruel, stuff like that. It's just such a wonderful show, and I can't believe that episode was able to pull off something without being so specific, because there have been tragedies for the past 200, 300, 500 years. So anyway, go watch High Maintenance. It's a wonderful show. It started on Vimeo as a web series, and now it is on HBO. So go watch it, please. I don't have any pull in that world, so I I don't know. I'm not making any money off of it, but go watch it. Then Planet Earth 2, Planet Earth Blue Planet 2. I'm just recording that. It's a great show. Wonderful. I hate watching it with commercials. Anyway, I also watched Happy Death Day. I've been wanting to see that movie for so long, and boy, oh boy, did it pay off. It's a telltale horror movie. I was about to say show horror movie, but it's at some point it really just turns into a comedy because they have some oddly funny lines in that movie that really did a good job of making. It wasn't as scary as I thought it was going to be. There's about 20 minutes or maybe even a full half hour where it's not scary at all. But this girl, it's her birthday. She hates her birthday because she hates her birthday. I'll just say that much. And she, her name is Tree, which really pissed me off. I think her full name is like Albatree or something stupid, something Albatree. Anyway, and you can immediately when the movie starts, you're gonna figure out what happens at the end of this movie. You know that she's gonna get together with Carter because that's just the way that they're painting the picture. You know that she is going to. That's it. That's all. That's really what really happens to her. She finds the killer and then she gets together with this boy. I did not ruin anything for you. It's a horror movie, but there's about I would say in the third act of the movie, they find the solution. She figures it out. They find a solution, and then again the movie seems like it's at a stopping point, which it probably could have ended there, and it could have been a 70-minute movie. But oh boy, did they know how to throw a wrench into the plan. God, Happy Death Day was a real fun romp. I don't ever need to see that movie ever again though. It's a movie where usually I love horror movies and I'll rewatch a horror movie. I'll rewatch pretty much anything. But there's at some point I see something once, like a Transformers film, and I go, I think I get the picture. There's a movie, I Do Until I Don't. I was watching that and I had to return it to Redbox, and I was going to work and I had to return it to Redbox, and I thought, I have about 20 minutes on this movie. I think I get it. They're about to trick the main lady, and that's it. Anyway, it's a fun movie. Jessica Roth starred in it. She did a really good job, and yeah. There we go. Who did this? Who directed this? Christopher Landon and Scott Lobdell wrote it. Oh, there was a lot of weird. That guy is, how old is he? Born in 1963. That guy has a lot of strange what he believes that young people talk like. There's a lot of weird things in there that I did not appreciate. It was like she would say something. There's a fart joke in there. There's a really nasty, disgusting fart joke. Anyway. Hey, he can write a horror movie. This Christopher Landon guy. Oh, he's a handsome guy. I got to notice looks about people. He was a writer for the Paranormal Activity movies for 2, 3, and 4, and the marked ones, the spinoff, the Hispanic spinoff. And let's see, he's a producer of those movies. He also directed. That's it. Wow. Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse and the marked ones. All right, good for him. Anyway, Larry, last thing. I gotta go. I gotta do things. I got stuff like watching The Bachelor. I've been really getting into HGTV and reality shows on there. I just gotta admit it. When I was younger, I always thought that reality shows were just the bottom bin of TV. I mean, they are, but man, oh man, are they a good watch, especially when you find like that Little Women show. Screw that entire series, but man, they're making money. And so HGTV, I like to do things. I like to go on Zillow. I like to look at houses on Zillow, houses I can't afford, because I like to look at the pictures. I like to pretend. I like to imagine. Now I'm watching The Bachelor in the background over here, and I'm enjoying these. Oh my God, she is a gorgeous woman. Ari's on a date driving his red truck somewhere with a beautiful lady. Anyway, I hate when I do that. Anyway, he's about to take her on a boat. Are the girls watching this? Okay, I got to stop this. Anyway, I love to watch these things now. And so I really gotten into Flip or Flop. And it's all because I was watching Chopped one day. This happened last week, so I started watching HGTV last week, and it's all most of their stuff's on Hulu, which is great. So I was watching an episode of Chopped, and I think I was watching Chopped and The Flash, and yeah, it was like a Tuesday. And The Flash was on commercial, Chopped went to commercial. As soon as I turned to it, and I said, well, you know what? My friends like HGTV. I'll turn to it. I turned to HGTV. Boy, oh boy, was I having a good time watching these people renovate a house, which I'm sure there's hundreds of episodes of each one of these shows, like Property Brothers, and it's the same thing. HGTV is so harmless because you can go to, say, your dentist, like I did last month in December. I went to my dentist, and they were playing the Property Brothers. And man, oh man, me, some 12-year-old girl, and this old man. We're all watching it. You know, not even sitting on our phones, or not even looking at magazines. We're just watching the Property Brothers. Why? Because they're a couple of guys just making houses, I think, or renovating houses. How can you? I don't understand. If someone would explain to me, do these people pay the taxes on the houses that they're being renovated for? And why would you not Love It or List It? What's the one? There's one show where people are renovating the houses to sell, and then they're going to buy a new house. Why would you do that? Why don't you just renovate the house? I don't understand. Like, yeah, for Property Brothers, some people renovate, I assume, to sell. I don't understand. Like, there was one episode where the only episode I've ever seen, actually, the only episode I actually remember is this family of a man and a woman and their two daughters. I'll earmark this by saying they had a happy birthday banner forever plastered on above the doorway to their the entryway to their kitchen in their living room. And it just said happy birthday. And one of the Property Brothers, Property Brother A, asked, who is that for? And then he helped one little girl take it down. And so go watch that episode. Go find the episode. I gave you the biggest detail. I don't know. And they said they were going to sell it to buy a new house. And at the end of the renovation, the Property Brothers took down this wall. And I say the Property Brothers, but I assume they had a crew with them because it just can't be two guys. Just like the rest of these shows, it's not just two people, like a man and a woman, or two dudes, or two ladies. I assume they mix up the sexes and genders and stuff. Anyway, but they took down these walls, the wallway of the kitchen. Now is a nice open concept. That's what I finally get the South Park joke where there was an episode where Randy was Stan Marsh's dad was doing home renovations. It was white people renovating things. I think that's what the show inside the South Park episode was called. I don't know. Anyway, and it was an open concept, and they were gonna. And I thought, you wanted more room. All you had to do is take down a wall. That's what you need to do. Why don't you just keep the house? It doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand. Why would you? I mean, it seemed like a perfectly nice house. Also, I'm a single guy and I don't have a family. I assume these things, that's how these things work out. Okay. Anyway, that's how I'm going to end episodes from now on. Just a nice long sigh as I listfully look at the reflection of myself. Why is this even happening? If you like this, you can always head to the website, cpluscomedy.com, where we got latest news, reviews, features, interviews, and other good comedy things that only I can provide you with. You can follow us on Twitter at cpluscomedy. Follow me on Twitter at ChadBlackWhite. Like us on Facebook. Head to the webpage, youtube.com/cpluscomedy, and you can watch a show, the premiere show for News Time, the premiere show for C Plus Comedy called News Time. It's a show where I stand in front of a black sheet and I talk about a very long news story. It used to be short, now it's very long. And you know what? I have fun doing it every single week. As much as I bemoan doing News Time and the Constitutionals beforehand, once I'm in it, and I'm running it. Like, I can talk for 30 minutes now, and I'm about to talk for 30 minutes. But anyway, a big sigh. Watch it. This week is an episode about Mosaic. It is a TV show, interactive TV show from Steven Soderbergh, who just did Logan Lucky. He's just off of Logan Lucky. It's for HBO, and you can download the app. You can watch it all for free on the app. 7.5 hours of television show. You can choose the narrative. You choose the narrative. And you just tap along on your phone or the website, and you just go along. and I talk about the history of that. Or you can watch it all on HBO right now. As I record this, it is airing right now, and as you probably listen to it, it is airing right now. So go watch it all. It's I read pre-air review on AV Club. It gave it an A-, I believe. So go watch it. It's a good show. Anyway, we'll see what next week's episode is about. I haven't figured it out, and it's usually at this point for all of 2018 so far, it's been at the last minute. So everything's been done the last possible second. Also, before I sign off, the episode of News Time that I did for the week prior that I talked about last week about what was it, Paramount Network? I know for that one and the Movie Pass ones, the 2 episodes about Movie Pass I've done, those get a lot of views. Usually I get like 3 or 4 views, and I'm 2 of those views because I gotta make sure everything uploaded right. But if I do an episode that's really timely, like that one, or hopefully this Mosaic episode, or the Movie Pass ones, then it stands out, I guess, in the YouTube analytics because so many people are looking for that stuff. And then they click on my video, and my highly produced, it's very well produced for compared to 4 years ago. My highly produced episode is put up against young people doing vlogs, and they're unstructured and they're shot on their cell phone selfie cameras, and it's all vertical video versus mine, which is shot on admittedly a very old Canon camera. DSLR, recorded on a hand recorder, a battery operated recorder with a crappy Sony lavalier mic, and my videos are put up next to those, and those get more likes than my scripted video that has jokes and it's good. I understand. I'm just so angry. Don't watch the video don't dislike it. Don't dislike the video. I try so hard. I try really hard to do these things. People come out here saying this guy's trying hard, he's a douche. I don't like it. I really don't appreciate it. I can get 1,000 views and then 15 people hate it. It doesn't make sense. It does not make sense to me. I work really hard. Anyway, all right, that's the end of this episode. I'm gonna hang up. Bye. Hang up. What? Okay, bye.